Well, hi folks. We're here in Sutton, West Virginia, a small town with a whole lot of history packed into it. Now at first glance, you might be thinking it's just another sleepy little place nestled in the beautiful landscape of rural West Virginia. But buckle up, gang, because Sutton's got a story that goes way back to the early 1800s. So let's take a stroll down memory lane and find out what makes this place so awesome. Sutton was founded in 1824, right here in the heart of Braxton County, at the meeting point of the Elk River and Little Kanawha River. The town was named after its founder, John D. Sutton, who helped build up this little community. Early on, Sutton was all about timber and coal, two things that were abundant in these parts. With rich forests and natural resources nearby, the town quickly became a hub for industry, which expanded in the area in the mid-1800s and was quite successful early on. And oh boy, during the 1860s did Sutton see some action during the Civil War. It was caught between Union and Confederate forces because of its strategic location, and in 1861, Confederate troops burned down most of the town to keep it and its valuable resources out of the hands of Union forces. But the fire didn't break the town or its residents, who showed their resilience and rebuilt the town in a matter of years, and it came back stronger than ever. Following the Civil War, Sutton started growing as West Virginia's resources were tapped more heavily. The arrival of the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad in the 1870s was a game changer for the town. With railroads came more business opportunities, and Sutton became an important stop for transporting lumber, coal, and agricultural products. The railroad connected Sutton to larger markets, helping the town's industries thrive. Coal mining became a major part of the economy, fueling growth and attracting new residents. And around this time, in 1882, they built the Braxton County Courthouse. This grand Romanesque building was the center of town life. It stood as a symbol of Sutton's resilience and became a place for gatherings, trials, and even political debates. As the 20th century rolled in, Sutton continued to expand thanks to coal, timber, and the railroad. By the 1910s and 1920s, the town was bustling with activity and its local economy thrived on these businesses. The Elk River served as an important transport route, and timber companies used it to float massive amounts of logs downstream. Sutton's location made it a regional hub for both business and transport in West Virginia. Can you believe it? Sutton was really booming in the 1920s, but like everywhere else, when the Great Depression hit in the 1930s, things got tough. Coal production slowed down, timber prices fell, and people were hit hard economically. However, relief came through the New Deal programs of the 1930s. The government's investment in public works projects provided jobs for locals. Roads were improved, public buildings were repaired, and local infrastructure saw some much-needed investment. The community rallied together, enduring the tough times through hard work and cooperation. World War II brought another shift in Sutton's economy. Many young men from Sutton went off to fight the war, while those who stayed behind supported the war effort by working in local mines and factories. Coal in particular was crucial for fueling the war effort, and Sutton played its part. The war years brought economic recovery as demand for coal surged and jobs became more plentiful once again. After the war, in the late 1940s and 50s, Sutton entered a period of post-war prosperity. Families were growing, new businesses were popping up, and the town was developing rapidly. Roads were improved, and with the rise of the automobile, travel between Sutton and other parts of West Virginia became much easier, helping local commerce thrive. Now here's where things get real interesting. In the 1960s, Sutton saw one of the biggest transformations yet, thanks to the construction of the Sutton Dam. Completed in 1961 by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, this massive project was designed to control flooding along the Elk River, which had been a major problem for the town since its inception. The Sutton Dam didn't just control the river's floods, it also created a huge recreational resource, Sutton Lake. This 1,440-acre lake became a popular spot for boating, fishing, and camping. The dam and lake brought tourism to the area, giving Sutton's economy a fresh boost. Now, instead of just coal and timber, Sutton had a new industry, tourism. And let me tell you folks, the lake is still a big hit. People come from all over to enjoy these peaceful waters, catch some fish, and have a good old time out in nature. The dam really puts Sutton on the map and is a great spot for outdoor recreation. So there you have it. From the boom of the coal and timber industries to surviving the Great Depression and bouncing back after World War II, Sutton's history is all about hard work, community, and comebacks. And today, thanks to Sutton Dam and the lake, it's a place where folks can relax and enjoy some good old-fashioned outdoor fun. Jeepers, this town sure has seen a lot. And speaking of seeing a lot, let's take a tour and see how close Sutton matches its in-game counterpart. Now, our first stop's going to be a place you're certainly going to recognize from the game. Right up the hill here, you'll see the Overseer's house. Now, you'll see the driveway goes right up that hill off the main road, just like it does in the game. But that's about where the similarities end. So let's take a look at a different angle and see one that's a little closer. Now, the one on the hill behind me here is the one we just saw. It's similar, but the color's not quite right, and there's no porch or front door. The one on my left here, now this one looks a lot more similar. Notice the stairs going up to it. Again, no front door or porch, but it's pretty close. Between the two, they're the inspiration for the Overseer's house. So let's head into town and see what else we can find. Kinda close. Well, folks, that's all for our visit to Sutton. Thanks for coming along. And remember, the next time you're passing through the heart of West Virginia, stop by Sutton and see it for yourself. You won't regret it. Oh, and just like in the game, you can continue up the road and take a hike over the hill and come to another charming little town. But this one is steeped in mystery and has a rather famous visitor. Come on, follow me and let's visit Sutton's neighboring town, Flatwoods. Jeepers! Check out this old road sign, Coyote. It's just like the one in the game, huh? Kind of creepy, don't you think? Well, folks, here we are in Flatwoods, just over the hill from Sutton, and apparently home to a green monster. Yep, that's what it says. Green monster. Now, I don't know about you, but my curiosity sure has piqued. How about you, Coyote? Feeling adventurous? Well, let's pay Flatwoods a visit and see if we can unravel a mystery or two. Yep, green monster. Oh boy. Well, I don't know, Coyote. I don't seem to... Whoa, what was that? Okay, we'll come back tomorrow when it's daylight and there's no monsters. Well, golly gee, quite a night, huh, folks? Well, here we are in Flatwoods, West Virginia, during the day. Now, like Sutton, Flatwoods might seem like a quiet little town at first glance, but let me tell you, this place is famous for one of the spookiest mysteries you'll ever hear about, and one that might have you looking to the skies wondering just what's out there. But we'll get to that a little later. For now, let's dive into the history of this neat little spot nestled right here in the hills. Flatwoods got its start in the early 1800s, just like a lot of towns in West Virginia. The area's first settlers were drawn to its rich natural resources like timber and coal. They worked hard to carve out a living here in these rugged hills, and slowly but surely, a small community began to grow. Officially founded in 1902, Flatwoods wasn't a big town, but it had a lot of spirit. Flatwoods was built on the backs of hard-working folks, mostly farmers and loggers, who turned these hills into their home. And let me tell you, life wasn't easy out there in the early days. The roads were rough, and the town folks were pretty isolated, relying on each other for just about everything to survive and to grow their community. After the Civil War period, like many West Virginia towns, Flatwoods saw its fair share of growth and development. With the railroad expansion of the late 1800s, more industries started popping up around Flatwoods. Timber was the major industry for the area. The local forests were just full of valuable hardwoods that needed to be harvested. So, railroads like the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad helped connect Flatwoods to the wider world, shipping out lumber and coal to far-off places. Now, the railroad really put Flatwoods on the map, folks. And as the train lines expanded, more people started settling in. Small businesses opened, churches and schools were built, and Flatwoods started to feel like a proper town. As the 20th century rolled around, Flatwoods continued to grow, but it was still a small, tight-knit community. The Great Depression hit hard in the 1930s, like everywhere else, but the people of Flatwoods were resilient. Many worked in the timber industry or on small farms, scraping by with what they had. Public works programs during the Depression helped modernize the town a bit with improved roads and infrastructure. Flatwoods, like a lot of places in West Virginia, is surrounded by beautiful natural scenery, and the Elk River's been a lifeline for the people here for centuries. Logging companies used it to float logs downriver, and it's always been a great spot for fishing and enjoying the great outdoors. During World War II, Flatwoods, like many small towns in America, sent its boys off to fight. The war effort was supported back home through hard work in local mines and timber mills. After the war, the town enjoyed a period of economic recovery, and with the rise of the automobile in the 1950s, Flatwoods saw new opportunities for growth. Roads improved, and Flatwoods became a bit of a stopover point for travelers making their way through the mountains. Now, in the 1950s, things were looking up for Flatwoods. More people had cars, and folks could get in and out of town a lot easier. It might not have been booming, but it sure was a nice little place to raise a family. But folks, Flatwoods' biggest claim to fame came in 1952, when something downright spooky happened. It all started on the night of September 12th, when a group of local kids saw a strange object streak across the sky and crash into the woods nearby. Now you know how kids are. Curiosity got the best of them, so they went to check it out. But there was one brave young man leading the charge, Eugene Lemon, a 17-year-old National Guardsman. Eugene and the group, including two brothers, Edward and Fred May, rushed to the spot, and let me tell you, what they found spooked them out of their socks. Eugene shined his flashlight, and they all saw a creature, about 10 feet tall, with glowing red eyes and a spade-shaped head and long claw-like arms. They described it as hovering above the ground, making a weird hissing sound and scaring everyone half to death. Poor Eugene was so scared that he dropped his flashlight, and the group ran back to town as fast as their legs could carry them. After that night, the Flatwoods monster became a national sensation, with reporters and UFO enthusiasts coming from all over to investigate. Some people thought it was an alien, others thought it was a misidentified barn owl, or maybe a government experiment. Whatever it was, it sure left an impression on Flatwoods. And today, you can learn all about that night right here at the Flatwoods Monster Museum. Now, it's not in Flatwoods, but it's just down the road in Sutton. They've got eyewitness accounts, memorabilia, and even a replica of the creature itself. It's a tribute to one of the wildest nights in this town's history, And who knows, maybe Eugene Lemon and his buddies really did see something otherworldly out there. But one thing's for certain, if you want to learn all about the Flatwoods Monster, affectionately known by the residents of Flatwoods as Braxy, then the Flatwoods Monster Museum is the place to do it. It's a must-stop on your visit to Flatwoods, full of interesting discoveries and fun and adventure. You'll just love it. So what do you say, gang? Ready to learn all about the Flatwoods Monster? Well, let's go! Okay, folks, so here we are inside the Flatwoods Monster Museum, and we're going to check it out. We're going to learn all about the Flatwoods Monster. But let's first talk to Haley, who is here at the museum. Haley, take it away.
Hey everybody, so the museum features a bunch of stuff about the sighting and all the people that were involved in it, and we have tons of information just for you to look at and enjoy. You can take pictures of anything in here, and it's a fun experience.
And it's awesome, and as you can see, there's all kinds of merch and videos, and we're gonna get in there and we're gonna see all that. Haley, thank you so much for having us. We're excited to see this. This is a great thing, and we're gonna bring Fallout fans here, and hopefully you'll get a ton of business and learn all about the Flatwoods Monster. So it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, let's. Whether you're a believer in the extraterrestrial or just enjoy a good mystery, Flatwoods has become a real hotspot for folks curious about the night in 1952, and I gotta say, this town's done a fine job keeping the legend alive. Oh, and don't forget to take a selfie of you sitting in all 7 of the hidden Flatwoods Monsters chairs tucked away all over Flatwoods and Sutton. It's a really fun adventure and takes you to a number of wonderful spots all around the area. If you get all 7, you get a fun little reward back at the museum for your intrepid dedication to all things Braxy. Now let's see if you can figure out where these might be. Well, this one's pretty obvious. This one appears to be in a park somewhere. Some are hidden away in hard-to-find places, and others are right there in plain sight. Whoop! Watch your step! Well, jeepers, can you figure out where this one is? Well, I'd say the Elk River's a clue. And here we are, ready to check out number 5. And not to give it away, but this one's not too far from a body of water either. Boy, oh boy, this sure is a great way to see the sights of Flatwoods and Sutton. Number 6 is by a real cool house. Number 7's not far from a gas station. Oh boy, I got all 7. I'm ready for my prize. So all you have to do is come back to the Flatwoods Monster Museum in Sutton and then show them your pictures of all 7 chairs. And once you do, you're an official Flatwoods Monster Hunter and you get a special prize. And what's the prize, you ask? Well, are you kidding? I'm not going to spoil it. So there you have it, folks. From the early days of farming and timber to the chilling night of the Flatwoods Monster encounter, this little town's got one heck of a history. Whether you're into small town charm or hunting for UFOs, Flatwoods is definitely a place worth discovering. Thanks for tagging along on another adventure. And next time you're passing through Braxton County, don't forget to stop by Flatwoods and maybe take a peek into the mystery yourself. Who knows? You might even catch a glimpse of something out of this world. Until next time, happy trails, everyone.
As I was was standing looking up one day, enjoying the view across the way. Some big bright lights came flying by, a lot of whirling doodads in the sky. It's just imagination, but I saw them just the same. Just imagination, but we saw them just the same. Now this sounds strange to you, I know, but take my word that it's really so. And as I looked up into the air, there were flying saucers everywhere. It's just imagination, but I saw them just the same. Just imagination, but we saw them just the same. Oh, here they come, oh, there they go. It's those doggone saucers again.